What is happening? In this video, we're checking out a few antique malls and flea markets that are about a 2-hour radius from my house that I've never been to somehow. In this video, we're chasing baseball cards and other relics of the past. Starting things off at the Keystone flea market, a huge building with two very big rooms full of collectibles, especially this back room. This is primarily all pop culture collectibles, baseball cards, action figures, VHS tapes, video games, you name it. It's probably tucked away in there. First glance, this caught my eye, these binders on this table. They had some non-sports in there, not really my thing. Flipped through that, and then also a bunch of junk wax era basketball as well as hockey. And then several binders full of baseball cards. I saw Todd Van Poppel rookie in there, primarily late 80s, early 90s stuff. The next table caught my eye because I saw an old Beckett. I collect older Beckett, so I had to flip through these and some older Sports Illustrated as well. And I would go on to find something that I need. These shelves were loaded up with VHS tapes, video games, and DVDs. Quite a wide variety there, and also a table of older consoles and other gaming accessories. And in the showcases, came across a Full House figure from back in the late 80s. Never even knew that was a thing when I was a kid. So that was pretty cool to see that. And also some handmade grab bags here. I think these were a couple bucks a piece. Really nothing that caught my eye as far as those go, so I continued to look around, and just a ton of figures in here in general. These shelves are just loaded full of Star Trek. He also had Star Wars and all kinds of other toy lines in this back room, like Last Action Hero. I love that movie, and I do have some of the figures. Nothing that I needed there in particular. So I spent some time talking to the owner, really cool guy. He recommended a place about 10 minutes up the road. I took off and headed up that way to the Historica Plus Antique Gallery. And this is 3 floors of collectibles and antiques. As soon as I walked in, I saw this Whitey Ford autograph. Thought that was pretty awesome. Don't see those very often at all. And then right below that was an old 45, which is pretty cool. The second floor had way more collectibles and stuff that we kind of like here. Big showcases full of video games. So that's pretty neat. And then this caught my eye on a corner shelf. And these were all 50% off in this booth. I've been watching a ton of Indiana Jones lately because the Paramount channel has been literally playing Indiana Jones on repeat, doing marathons. So I had to check that out. Very, very cool collectible. And would make my way around, still searching for baseball cards in this place. And then I came across them. Lo and behold, on this showcase, you see an 89 score set, 1990 score, and 91 tops micro set or mini set. And then we had a little wooden box full of top-loaded Scott Kamenecki 91 Upper Deck for $5 and other things. After I saw that, I didn't look at any more cards in there, but I did find some collectibles right next to that, some older starting lineup figures, all kinds of randomness on this floor. And the top floor just had mostly a bunch of furniture and artwork, so I took off. On my way out, I had to pay homage to this audio-video appliance center. How often do you see those? That was crazy. So left there and traveled about a half hour back to a place that was recommended as well, the Yodar Antique Mall in Punxsutawney. As soon as I walked in, a baseball card vending machine. Freaking crazy. And then right beyond that, multiple showcases full of vintage cards. You see a 61 Mays in there, an Elway rookie, a 69 Rod Carew, Clemente's 1972, all kinds of stuff in there. There's a Fisk rookie, a 67 Joe Morgan. The price tags on them, there's a lot of eBay prices there. The 1960 Fleer Honus Wagner definitely caught my eye there. And then you see a Griffey relic. There's a Maz rookie card from 57. I have one of those already, so I don't need that. Aaron Judge, Donruss Optic rookie. I think that was $65, and a 71 Willie McCovey. This place is amazing. I've never been to an antique mall that had live music. That was pretty crazy. And I made my way to the very back room and found a booth that was full of a lot of older baseball cards, vintage, some junk wax packs. These were like a couple bucks a piece. I want to say 91 FLEA rack packs. You have 88 Tops, 90 Donruss. There's some older WCW wrestling cards there. They got top loaders and supplies and everything else. Kind of a crazy story, too. As I was standing here going through singles and such, I overheard a guy and his wife mentioning the Desert Shield set. And I kind of chimed in and said, hey, are you guys talking about Desert Shield? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I've been putting that set together for probably 6 or 7 years now. I got about half the set. And he's like, oh, well, I bought a box here a few months ago of 91 Tops. And he said that they were all Desert Shield cards. And he said he put the whole set together from one box minus one card that he bought off eBay. And I was like, that's absolutely insane. I was like, do you know a BBC wrap box of Desert Shield sell for like $50,000? And he had no idea. So it just goes to show you what you can find in the wild. Supposedly he found a Desert Shield box from 1991. Not Desert Storm military cards, but actual Tops. And this box here had some pretty nice vintage in it. See some 70s, early 70s there, and then 65 Jim Cott. That's actually an error card. I have that one already, so I'm not going to pick that one up, but always cool to see it out in the wild. There's a 75 Bob Gibson highlights card, 77 bench, and a 62 league leaders. They had a whole booth here that was all older video games and consoles with some more rare and expensive games inside the showcase. Looked around some more. On my way out, I saw somebody was buying a Desert Storm box. Had to film that. And I had to do the honors of buying some cards from this sports card vending machine, just like old times. After spending about an hour in there, I started to make my way home. And lo and behold, I came across an antique mall I have not been to in probably like 6 or 7 years. And last time I was here, I didn't really find anything whatsoever. This time, it was a different story. There was a booth that was primarily all collectibles and older baseball cards. And I came to realize that this seller was at the last place that I was just at, and had some similar bargain boxes, dollar boxes, things of that nature. And the prices definitely seemed like they were better at this stop compared to the previous one. On the corner side of the booth, we have some junk wax era packs, some 90 FLEA, some 91 per deck football, Desert Storm, of course. And they had these various 800 count boxes of mixed baseball cards. I'm not going to buy that. Looked around some more and made my way home. Let's check out what I brought back with me. I'm back from my travels and at the TPIA lair. Let's see what I came home with. The very first place, the Keystone Flea Market. Never been there. And they've been open for like 12 or 13 years. And it's only an hour and a half from my house. Very surprised by it. For whatever reason, never made the trip out until Saturday. And very awesome store. Really cool owner, down-to-earth guy. Spent probably about an hour and a half talking to him. And just a ton of collectibles. And I wanted to get my business. I made it a point to find some stuff in there I needed, this being one of them. In that stack full of older magazines, I came across a Beckett. I don't think I've ever seen this edition before. November 87 with George Bell on the cover. This is $2, and I've been organizing my Beckett collection As of lately, I have lots of duplicates and been filing them away and stuff. So one I've never come across, I had to grab this to add to that collection. So very, very cool to go back and flip through those. I also bought a video game and a few books from my mom. I took off from there. I went to the place about 10 minutes away that he recommended, and you saw the card prices in that place. The Scott Kamenecki 91 per deck for $5, and that whole wooden tray or box was full of stuff like that. So I didn't spend too much time hunting cards in there, but I did grab this. You probably knew that I was going to buy this when you saw in the video, especially 50% off. This was like $12 for a metal Temple of Doom lunchbox. Now, I don't consider myself to be an avid lunchbox collector. I probably have like a dozen or whatever from just various cartoons or whatever that I liked as a kid. When I see them for a good price, I can't help myself but pick them up. This is no exception. And for the price, you really couldn't pass on it. There's no thermos, but I don't even care. I'll still display this to my ever-growing lunchbox collection now. That was the only thing I grabbed from the second place. The third place, the Yodar Antique Mall. Prices in there on cards definitely were a little bit steep, but I managed to find a card that I thought was a decent deal, a 1960 FLEA Honus Wagner. This was $14, I believe, number 62, and I already have a pretty decent collection of early 60s FLEA. Didn't have this Wagner, and the eye appeal, and this is pretty freaking nice too. Centering on it is nice looking, and also the backside. There's no suggestive stains or anything else on here, so couldn't pass that up for $14. Grabbed that one, and on my way out, had to try my luck at the baseball card vending machines. I think that's so cool that they have one of those as soon as you walk in. I was hooked. So I put 4 quarters in it. The first stack, it was 5 cards for 50 cents. And how they used to be when they had them at Toys R Us and Kmart and such, they had the cardboard folds that the cards would come inside. This was not the case at that place. You just got a handful of cardboard, and this Rick Dempsey was on top. And I was like, when I was pulling it out, I was like, whoa, is it the finger on the front? This Dempsey also has an error card that has a little finger coming out of the O almost. It's a really neat and kind of creepy error card. But that's not the Air 81 FLEA. I assumed it would be all commons, but just for the experience, I had to buy a couple handfuls. Chris Chelios, Donruss Elite from the mid-90s there. Nice looking design on that. So nothing crazy in that first stack. The second stack, Dale Ellis. A 79 Topps card there. Jay McKee, 1980 Luke Prestridge. Stan Javier, Writhing Around in the Dirt. And Robert Parrish from 92-93 FLEA. So you're not going to get anything crazy out of there, but for kids, it's pretty sweet. It's basically a scaled-down version of a Fairfield pharmacy box. So that's all I grabbed from the Yodar Antique Mall. And then the last place, I just happened to be driving by on my way home. Had that whole selection of cards in there. I found some cool stuff. In their dollar box is a Jacob Wilson Bowman rookie. Didn't have that, so picked that up for $1. There's a Bill Buckner, 1970 Topps rookie in pretty nice condition. Might be nicer than the one I already have in my collection, so I picked that up for $1. Also grabbed the Sasaki 2025 Chrome rookie for $1. And then he had some top-loaded boxes that were various prices. They ripped the sticker off of these when I bought them, though. But a Yamamoto, I wasn't sure if I had his Bowman or his Bowman Chrome. I probably had this, but I think it was like $2. Wasn't going to pass on his Bowman rookie for $2 regardless. And then this one. Couldn't pass on this. This was $7. I think this is the second or third one of these that I have, but I figured I'd compare it with the ones I have already. But a Freddie Freeman 2011 Bowman rookie number 205 for $7. You can't beat it. You got to grab that when you see it. So those are my pickups for this weekend. Nothing crazy, but like I said, these places weren't very far away, and I didn't really ever make an effort to go out and see them. Something else I picked up recently, this was a local antique mall. I've yet to make a video about this place. I probably should. I've been thinking about it for like 2 years now since they opened, but I paid $4 for this Cons mail-away redemption set. Now, I've been wanting to get this set for a while because I remember having some of these as a kid. I don't remember if I had the whole set or not, or even how I got them, but the Cooperstown collection, looking at these definitely take me back to the late 80s, like probably 1989 or 1990, when I had these in my PC as a little kid, and no clue where they came from. Bob Gibson. But it's a neat set, Yastrzemski, and for $4, you can't find them that cheap on eBay for the set, so I had to grab them. Lou Brock, Matthews, Robinson, Killebrew, Woody Ford, all the big names in there. That's a complete set, but a neat Hillshire Farm Cons Redemption set. So that was another pickup as of recently, but that's it. That's all I grabbed. I'd love to hear comments from you on what your favorite thing you saw was or what I picked up. Any comments about the pricing in the antique malls, please feel free to leave them down below. And hopefully you'll join me tomorrow night for a not so distant throwback rip of 2024 Topps Update Jumbo. Chasing after all kinds of stuff in here. I've never got to open a box of these. So tomorrow night we will do that together for Turn Back the Clock Tuesday. So join for that about 8:30 tomorrow evening. Until then, you guys freaking rule. Hopefully I'll see you back tomorrow night. Thank you all for watching.